why don't we kick it all off? I think it's time for us to do your message from the morning man. And today's message, I wonder what the title will mean to you, but it's called A Basket of Water. All right, here we go. Now, I always talk about how much I love reading, and it's true. I happily consume volumes of information on a daily basis, from newspapers to magazines to websites to textbooks. My source of mental nourishment is ink, and I have developed a huge appetite for it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not always easy. You know, when I have to read large sections of the Constitution, for example, the legal language and the hitherto and wherefore and the likes can start to blur together in the page, you know. Last night, for instance, I was reading some long, complicated employment contract for a meeting that I have later today, and my dear friends, that thing had more Latin in it than South America. Passionate as I am about reading, I was prepared to set the whole accursed document on fire and shoot myself in the head after 2 pages of incomprehensible double Dutch. The only thing that prevented me from doing just that was the thought of how silly I would look in the meeting today if I didn't understand a word that was being said. So I took some paracetamol and I kept reading, even though I knew I'd probably forget all that legal stuff 2 hours after I exit the meeting. Now, you know, that thought took me back to my early childhood and a story that my mother once told me. Let me retell it as closely as I can recall, okay? So here we go. Each morning, Grandpa was up early, sitting at the kitchen table reading his Bible. His grandson wanted to be just like him and tried to imitate him in every way he could. One day, the little boy asked, "Grandpa, I try to read the Bible just like you, but I don't understand it. And what I do understand, I forget as soon as I close the book. So what good does it do to read the Bible anyway?" Now, the grandfather quietly turned from putting charcoal in the stove and replied, "Son, take this coal basket down to the river and bring me back a basket full of water." The boy did as he was told, but all the water leaked out before he got back to the house. The grandfather laughed and said, "Well, you'll have to move a little faster next time," and sent him back to the river with the basket to try again. Now, this time the boy ran much faster, but again the basket was empty before he returned home. Out of breath, he told his grandfather that, well, it was impossible to carry water in a basket, and went to get a bucket instead. The old man said, "I don't want a bucket of water, I want a basket of water. You're just not trying hard enough." And he went out of the door to watch the boy try a third time. Now, at this point, the boy knew it was impossible, but he wanted to show his grandfather that even if he ran as fast as he could, the water would leak out before he got back. So, again, he dipped the basket into the river and ran harder than he had ever run in his life. But by the time he reached his grandfather, the basket was again empty. Gasping for air, he spluttered, "You see, Grandpa, it's useless." Grandpa smiled. "So you think it's useless? Well, look at the basket." The boy looked, and for the first time, he realized that the basket was different. It was no longer a dirty old coal basket. It was now clean, inside and out. Grandpa patted the little boy on the shoulder and said, "That is what happens when you read over and over again. You might not understand or remember everything, but when you read it enough, you will be changed, inside and out." Let's just say that since my mother told me that story, I've never complained about having to read anything, no matter how boring or incomprehensible it may be. Now, my dear friends, the Ghana Library Authority has declared 2019 the year of reading. Today's message is in furtherance of that goal. It's for the millions of young Ghanaians who seem allergic to books and only have enough attention span to consume 1 minute of videos on Instagram. Now, if you have a child like that, or if you know someone who doesn't quite get the point of reading, please tell them about the basket full of water. It just might make all the difference. But even if it doesn't, well, at least you've told them a story. And we all love a nice story, don't we? My name is Kojo Yankson, and I'm dipping my basket every day. Good morning, Ghanafo. And good morning to you, Daddy Roro. How nice to see you.
Well, good morning to you, Kojo. How was your weekend?
Not bad, you know. I had a very restful weekend. Did a bit of reading. Wow. I lay on my hammock. I have one of these nice swinging hammocks. Wow. I lay in it with my son, and we read our books for hours. It was good.
Yeah, and I love your message of motivation. And more so, we need to make sure that we inculcate the habit of reading, because sometimes, you know, the eggs of the cockroach is just hidden somewhere around the kitchen table that you never get to notice. I don't know. Perhaps maybe we may change someday.
Maybe.
Especially when technology has now changed everything around us. Everything is about the screen.
Well, you can still read on the screen. You know, it's the content, it's the way that it enriches your mind that matters.
I agree. Yeah. But we have the latest news headlines. We'll bring you all that next. Please stay with us.